Well, we spent a number of New Year's Eves on this show, and
What?
I think if we had to say anything, you said it. Let's hope that 1976 is a better year around the world for
All
everybody in all countries, and that's all you can wish. That it's,
We should all have
it's a
peace and
happier.
happiness.
That's all you can wish. It is such a cliche that you almost feel corny saying Happy New Year, but that's what everybody hopes, that things will just be a little better.
But you know, it is like a new beginning. I feel much better now.
It's like spring.
It's like spring, and we should all have health, and our children should be happy, and everyone should mind their own business.
How is your health?
My health. No, it's wonderful. I'm so glad. I get very depressed till after New Year's. Now I'm fine again.
You see? Just a magical moment.
I started Halloween got me crazy.
Yeah?
I got the blues at Halloween.
Why?
Holiday blues.
Did you see today, it just occurred to me about New Year's Eve, it was in the Los Angeles Times today, our astronomer friend, Dr. Carl Sagan, had a perspective to put the time that men have been here in perspective. He had a cosmic calendar showing that actually, in the last second of the existence of man, everything has happened in 1 year since the Earth was formed, the whole universe was formed, and only in the last second of that whole cosmic calendar was all of man's technology and all of the inventions and everything happened in that little 1 second, to put it in perspective. It's interesting.
Yeah, but
it makes you feel a little...
They're still messing up.
Yeah, after all of that, we're still not doing it right.
I got stationery from Tiffany's that you couldn't put the glue on the back. There was no glue.
No glue?
Yeah, so that's a mess up, that little second.
Little things like that.
It was morning stationery. Do you want to hear depressing?
Morning
stationery.
What's morning stationery?
Well, when somebody dies...
Oh, I see. I thought you meant the time of day.
Yeah. So you're writing a condolence note.
I thought you meant there was something I didn't know about that you... It's so exclusive, but it's only for morning, writing in the morning. I said, boy,
chic.
that's chic.
Bring me my after tea station. This is MOU morning station.
Yes.
So you go to write notes, you're not feeling cheery to begin with, right? Now you go to take the envelope, you go, and it doesn't stick. So now you got to put a happy face on the back of the It's crazy.
It says smile.
Yeah.
Have a nice day.
So I crossed the I's. I mean, you know. So I wrote to Tiffany, and they didn't answer me, so I guess they mislaid the letter, Tiffany. So I thought I'd mention it on the show.
Well, I'm glad you wrote to him before today.
Yes.
Because as of today, it'll cost you 13 cents.
Yes.
Starts today to write it. You find that happy news?
It's a postman.
That's a 30% increase.
Yeah. It's going to be a lot of changes this year.
Yeah, the post office has got to get itself together.
Yes.
You know, they're going to let somebody run that knows what's going on.
Well,
it'll be cheaper to phone pretty soon.
Oh, not necessarily. They'll jerk that up, too.
Yeah?
You know, you're going to call information. They're going to say to you, why don't you look it up? It's going to cost you a dime to have a recorded message, tell you that.
That's something else the phone company wants to do now. They want to start charging people for calling information. Like that's not a service they should provide.
Yeah. Exactly. America's getting crazy, you know.
Yeah.
That's why and especially the West Coast, which is why I fit in.
Yeah, California is a little faddish.
A little faddish?
Well, they tend to grab on
I got
little
6
groups.
gifts from Whips of All Nations.
Whips of All Nations?
That's faddish. Faddish.
You've seen the shop up in Sunset, the Marquis de Suede? I mean, there's little things like that out here that they have.
My neighbor gave her husband a vasectomy for Christmas. That's strange. True.
Well, that shows you the new, new thinking.
She gave him a card. Because I love you and you love me. Here's $50 for a vasectomy.
I think clever. Your rhyme there. Very nice.
It was a slip knot, so she didn't care.
What kind? Did you stay home for Christmas?
Oh, we had the worst Christmas. That's why I'm so glad we're in 76.
Oh, was it a disaster?
We went to Mexico. Never again, and they can sue me if they want to. The lowest.
No, you don't mean the whole country.
I mean the whole country.
Oh.
I mean, you walk down a street, a man jumps out of an alley and says to Eggie, you want to buy a thigh? That's a very...
Want to buy a thigh?
A thigh. A married man. And he bought it. We have it home, you know, cute.
I don't like to travel during Christmas.
Well, our friend died. We went with a couple,
I'm sorry.
in Mexico. Good luck trying to get a body out. They will not declare, they won't declare a tourist legally dead till all the luggage has been stolen. I mean, you just have to... They had to bury this guy in Mexico.
Oh, come on.
I'm not kidding. Johnny, and you wonder why I'm glad we're in 76? Did you ever see a Mexican hearse? It had dice in the window. I mean, you don't know. the funeral, after the funeral, the mortician, is that the name? Yeah. After the funeral, he gives my friend a box that has her husband's ears and tail in it. I mean, they're crazy. Crazy.
Different culture.
Different culture. She had him cremated. I mean, Christmas Eve, we took the ashes, because he was cremated, because she couldn't get him out, you know? And so we sprinkled them all over Mexico City's best restaurant, and nobody noticed. I mean, it was just, you know, it was like, they said, cleaned up, Jose? It was just terrible.
Well, you could have put him in the car ashtray and brought him back to the country. Who would have known? Well, that's kind of a clever idea, right?
But when you go to smoke, you sob.
Yeah.
Goodbye, puff, puff. But it was not a good Christmas, you know? I have strange friends.
What do you look forward? Yeah, I know you have some weird people. I know the girl used to go to school with you.
Heidi Abramowitz.
I still remember Heidi.
Oh, yeah. She married well, though.
Oh, that's good.
She got a facelift for Christmas. See, I think
you
that's
keep saying
great.
you're going to do that.
Any second.
Why? You don't have any.
Oh, grow up, sailor. Are you kidding? I look down.
Grow up, sailor?
You could put 3 seeds in here and things will grow. I mean, it's over.
I don't see any.
Oh,
well, a little...
Where?
A little charm line.
Charm line.
Isn't that what they say? Those are laugh wrinkles.
Yes, sure. I've been hysterical for 10 years.
Remember the first joke you heard as a kid? The lady had so many wrinkles on her forehead, she had to screw her hat on? That's one of the first jokes I ever remember.
Thank God wrinkles don't hurt. You'd be screaming. Remember those jokes? They don't. But, no, but she had a face, and she looked... Because women, she looks great. Very tight.
Is that dangerous?
Oh, I don't think so, except every time she crossed her leg, her mouth opens. But see, she lied to me. I said, did you have it done? Because I figure, ask.
Yeah.
And this liar, she says, no, woman is talking to the partner here. No, she says, it went to the bathroom, tinkled through her ear. I mean, so obvious.
Well, that's a bad doctor, obviously.
So you can tell who's had a facelift. They go to the John, they take off an earring. It's a dead giveaway. You know?
So you really think you'd do that?
Anything. Anything. Here we go again. But I feel 76 is going to be a good year for me. I'm going to fix it all up, pull it all together, and... Why not? Why not?
They come out with General Motors comes out every year with a new model. Why shouldn't women? Or men for that?
Why not? So, except men, no. Men don't have to. Men, here we go. Yeah. The guy I was in love with the most. We can talk seriously, can't we? I feel very close to you tonight.
Good, I know. It's an emotional time
It's an emotional time for you. The guy I felt the closest to was Myron... Thank you.
Yes.
Myron Silverbaum.
Myron Silverbaum.
Not much of a name.
Well, what
Gentile.
Gentile.
Kind of a stupid Gentile,
yes.
Myron Silverbaum.
What did Myron do? What
but
happened
he was
to him?
very short, and I was mad about... I mean, he was, like, short.
Short, you mean?
He would walk into a pool hall and open his mouth. They shoot an 8-ball into it.
Oh, well, that's short.
That's short.
Very extremely
You know
small.
how short he was?
Well, how short was he?
Summer vacation.
Yeah?
He worked at the circus. They used to shoot him out of a pistol. I mean, that's a short...
You don't find a man of that caliber very often, either. Sure. If you'd have thought of that bad joke, you'd have done it.
Because I went out with strange guys.
Yeah.
Oh.
Myron's...
I went out with a dentist, 38 years old. He had no patience, so he gave himself braces, you know. So he used to give me a hickey. I'd have 12 stitches in the neck. I mean, you know, it was like, you go home to your mother, what's up? Nothing. You know, I was strange people I dated.
Yeah. Well, I hope you have a happy 1976.
Oh, I hope we all have a great 76.
We will. It's going to be bicentennial, but...
Bicentennial. Why not? Better to live here and be able to... about this bicentennial to live somewhere else where they'll shoot you if you say against.
Absolutely.
Right?
Okay. We'll take a break. Right back. We're back. You know, it's nice to not only see you here as my first guest in 1976, but I understand your father is out here with you tonight.
Dr. Malinsky and my friend Mrs. Harris, and it's nice to have him here.
I think that's super.
So,
welcome.
And I should also say, I'm just doing kidding about Mexico.
I know.
My friend didn't die. We saved him.
Oh,
yes.
Good.
We had to pump out his stomach. We saved him.
The food you can talk about. Orson Bean is here tonight. He's a raconteur, actor, comedian, paper tearer, magician, and I don't know what he's doing lately outside of being with us. Maybe he has nothing to plug at all. Would you welcome Orson Bean? At the tremendous risk of being repetitive and corny, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
I don't know what one can say that has a better sound than Happy New Year.
Happy New
Marvelous New Year doesn't make it, and success, but Happy New Year seems to flow.
Yeah. I like that. Happy New Year.
Yeah.
It's become a cliche because it sounded good the first time anybody said it.
I wonder who the first one was that said that.
I don't know.
Some caveman or something?
When it's only a relative amount of time since the New Year started on January 1st. I mean.
Well, they changed the calendar. It was a Gregorian calendar,
Right.
then the Caesarean calendar.
The New Year really should come at Easter time, in my opinion. Who the hell wants to start a New Year with snow hanging around and all of that stuff? A New Year should start when nature's New Year starts.
In the spring.
Little green things are coming up. January should be in April, except that would ruin April. The hell with that.
Actually, if we were smart, we would have 13 months of exactly 4 weeks each.
Would we?
Yeah.
Did you didn't mention, I was sure Carolyn
Oh,
pointed
it doesn't
out.
make sense. That's
Yes, it makes
52
sense to
weeks.
me.
13 weeks of
4 weeks each.
There had to have
and
been
put an
a
extra
reason.
month in there called Melman.
Molman.
April, Melman, May, or whatever you want to.
Yeah.
You could have a national contest to find that new month, and then
Yes.
everything would be the same each year.
The guy would say, when were you born? He says, the 13th of Molman.
That's right.
Right.
Interesting. Anyway, I interrupted again, which is I'm prone to
There
do.
was a second added tonight to the whole world, and I was sure that you would take note of that. Didn't anyone hear that?
Oh, yes, they added 1 second to balance the
Right.
atomic clocks or something
Right,
like that.
Right, and I don't know what we're going to do with it, but there's a second more that we have to fool around with.
Yeah.
Like, how are you, honey?
Happy New Year.
You want to fool around for a second?
Oh, don't start.
Time is a rather interesting thing. I think
Yes.
J.B. Priestley did an entire book on time.
Yes.
A thick book on just time and what it really is and what it means. And it means what you want it to mean
Of
here.
course. We have
Arbitrary, you know.
we have such things that are arbitrary that we select. One of the things that I wanted to talk about was the fact that Christmas was a great holiday for thousands of years before the birth of Christ. In fact, the Hanukkah holiday and the Christmas holiday are simply incorporations of a pagan holiday that existed for thousands of years before. And like, even as the Catholic Church in South America tried to get the people to give up some of these pagan Indian holidays and finally said to hell with it and incorporated it into St. Cecilia's Day or something,
Right.
where they kill the chicken, and dance around.
Well, Christmas, or the actual date of Christ's birth, is really lost.
No,
and
I think
December
he-
25th, according
yes.
to I thought they thought it was in the spring sometime, at
Maybe
least.
April, maybe Molman. What do we know what they called them back then? The point is, though, that it is really the midwinter solstice plus 2 holiday. The midwinter solstice is the 23rd of December, and it's the shortest day of the year. Now, back in the days of the cave people, it looked to them like the sun was getting smaller and smaller in the sky. In fact, it was. And they didn't know if it was ever coming back. And if it didn't come back, they didn't go and put on the electric light. They didn't turn up the heater. That was it. That was all they had. So by December 24th, the sharpest-eyed shaman in the tribe, the wisest man, would have spotted...
There he is now.
The guy didn't... Yeah, right. The sharpest-eyed man, the wisest man in the tribe, would have spotted by the 24th of December that the sun was not getting any smaller. And by the 25th, he would have been able to spot that the sun was coming back. So over the millennia, the 25th of December, even though it might have been called, the 19th of Gazunkas back then, became an enormous period of celebration. And Christmas was against the law in the church in the early centuries because it was a pagan holiday. And finally, they figured you can't lick them, so join them, and they decided to celebrate Christ's birthday on December 25th, which was already a big party. Same as the Jews did with Hanukkah. And I heard the other day that there's an African holiday on December 25th. So every religion recognizes
That's an arbitrary
that.
date.
Right.
That's
Thank you.
interesting. I didn't know that.
Next question. What is the
Yes.
capital of North
Now
Dakota?
here's a question from Mrs. Freebie.
Yes.
Montauk. She'd like to know.
Right.
Why don't you start with a joke?
All
Start
right.
the new year with an out-and-out joke. No pretense at...
There's a book called Breaking It Up, The Best Routines of the Stand-Up Comics, and they sent it to me in the advanced thing the other day, and I'm in there. I'm the very first one because it is chronological above the new wave of comics. And they started way back in the 50s with me and go up through Gabe Kaplan and the David Steinberg and Robert Klein and the new ones. And they've got the first joke that I ever told on your show there, so it bears repeating. It's about the parrot. The guy who has a parrot who is in a very bad way, Joan. This parrot writes to the lovelorn column. He's desperate for a female parrot. He sits looking out the window as the pigeons fly by anything. People come to the man's house and the parrot's looking at them with terrible, malevolent, beady eyes, making obscene suggestions as they walk past the cage. He's in a very
lonesome parrot.
A lonesome parrot, to put it mildly. The guy reaches into the cage to change the paper or something. The bird is on his arm. You know, it's terrible. Finally, the guy takes the parrot to a vet. The vet examines the parrot, says, well, he says, it's obvious what your parrot needs. He says to the man, I have a sweet young female bird in the back. The parrot's in his cage listening to the conversation. And the vet says, for $15, he says, your bird can go in the cage with my bird. And the parrot's in there, and the guy says, geez, I don't know. He says, $15. And the parrot says, come on, what the hell? Finally, the guy says, all right. He gives the vet the 15. The vet takes the parrot, puts him in the cage with the female bird. They close the curtain. The two men go and sit down. There's a moment of silence, and then suddenly, quack, 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 feathers come flying over the top of the curtain. The vet says, holy gee, he runs over, opens the curtain. The male bird's got the female bird down on the bottom of the cage with one claw. With the other claw, he's pulling out all her feathers. He's saying, for $15, I want you naked, naked.
Yes, it all comes back to me now.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you make resolutions, or are you past that point?
It's like New Year's Eve is just another day to me,
Yeah.
really. So much has happened in the past year.
Yeah.
And my life keeps, you know...
Your lifestyle changes, like the tide goes out and a new lifestyle comes in.
It does. I enjoy that. You know, what the hell, says I.
Yeah.
I'm sitting out in the backyard. This is a true story. A couple weeks ago, sitting around, naked as a grape in the afternoon California sun, reading a book by Dr. Lilly, who was the guy that wrote about the dolphins, talking to the dolphins.
Oh, yeah.
Remember? But this book is called Center of the Cyclone. Quite fascinating. You'd love it. And it's all about the things that we are taught are not possible, that are possible, but because we are taught they're not possible.
For example?
For example, what happened to me, I'm reading this and I'm thinking, you know, that there's nothing maybe that isn't possible if we believe it. And at that moment, a butterfly comes fluttering past me and lands on the chair next to me out in the back, and I decided to see if I could talk to the butterfly. I mean, I'm just sitting around there, you know, contemplating the thoughts in the book and my navel or what have you. And the butterfly is there, and I decided to see if I can talk to the butterfly, and I says, hello, butterfly.
Good opening.
Yeah.
That sets the tone. For,
Right. But I try to get really relaxed and make contact with the butterfly.
Now, you're serious?
I'm serious. And a butterfly looks at me, and I look at the butterfly, and he flies away a little bit, and he comes back. And he keeps coming closer and closer and closer. Now, I'm condensing the story because it took about 40 minutes, what happened with me and the butterfly. I really felt that I was making contact with the butterfly, and he kept coming closer to me, and I held my finger out, and I said, come on, get on my finger. And he came, and he made 2 loops around my finger, and then he went away. And then he came back, and he sat on the chair next to me. And I tried to see if I could really feel how it would be like to be in that butterfly's body, and to feel those beautiful wings, and to have that little body and those extra legs and things, and to feel what it must be like to have all the stuff behind you, all the caterpillar type stuff, and to live for love and beauty, because they don't live long, and all they do is fly around and make love with other butterflies. I'm not even sure about that part. They fly around, and they look pretty. And I really felt what it would be like to be that butterfly, and I invited him to feel what it would like to be me, and I felt that he did. And then he flew up way high to the chimney of my house and flew down real fast and made, again, 2 loops around my finger and took off. Then I stood up naked in the afternoon sun and put my finger there, and I said, come on. And the butterfly flew over and landed on my finger, and we looked at each other for about 30 seconds, and then he went away.
True?
True.
That's a strange story.
And yet it didn't seem strange.
It's almost, what's the word I'm searching for? It's almost like the old saying, all is one with you, we are all one and so forth, that kind of...
That's the way I felt about it. Really, I felt at that moment like I was totally in touch with everything. It was interesting.
Take a break here. We're coming right back in just a moment. 2 moments. Nelson Reilly is here tonight also. What do you got here?
I'd forgotten. I really just wanted to mention this as a favor to the people. It's a little book called Hope for the Flowers about butterflies. Somebody gave it to me a year ago, and I dug it out after my experience with the butterfly. If you see it in a bookstore, buy it. I don't know who publishes it or anything, but it's just wonderful.
Good, thank you. Charles Nelson and Reilly are all here tonight. He's a funny man, most talented guy. And he's directing now. He's a production of La Boheme, starring Roberta Peters in Providence on January the 10th, and he leaves for New York soon to begin work with Julie Harris in the Broadway play The Belle of Amherst. Would you welcome Charles Nelson and Reilly? Happy. You're dressed. See, you came.
Well, I'm not really dressed. I didn't have it cleaned.
Oh, I see.
Since the last time, you know, and I feel like it's not really, you know what I mean? But it's okay.
Are you going to party tonight?
Yeah, we're going to have like a dinner party.
Well, that's nice. Are you
You know, just the family, the group.
I wasn't asked.
No, but you're
Johnny.
going to biggie. You're going to a big one. No?
Do you do the cooking yourself at this? Because I understand you're into.
Yeah, I love to cook. I
Fine.
cooked Christmas Eve. Cooked a good supper. Oh. Happy New Year and thanks for everything.
Well,
You know what I mean? And a healthy, Happy New Year to everybody. You know? Why not, right? I spent the whole day with my doctors and the hair man, the teeth man.
really?
Got the new glasses. I'm ready for another year. No, it's true. I went all day. I have a chauffeur.
1,000-mile checkup.
I have a chauffeur to do all I have to do because you can't depart. You know, and I'm going to New York, so I had to get it all done.
One must have a chauffeur.
Well, just for the day when they glue everything together for the new year. You know, and I went to the dentist, and I said, now, is it permanent? I said, sure. Oh, the whole thing.
Oh, I didn't know that.
A woman coughed in the balcony, you know, everything could come off. But it's, you know, now it's terrific. It's a reissued, you know. Even took the car in this morning. Took the car in, left the car. That's why I have a chauffeur. Got in and went all day. Now I'm ready again for a new year.
So you're a complete human being
Completely.
again.
Doctor said perfect. Everything is perfect. That music was beautiful. Stephen, wonderful. Lovely. So I'm fine.
Stephen?
Well, just jokes. You know,
I
the
see.
set is beautiful. They look wonderful.
Yes, I do.
Beautiful.
The man do.
Yes,
They
everything.
do in that set.
Bumblebee wanted to talk to you.
He's on your answering service.
Yes, by the sweetest thing.
When he buzzed twice, hang up.
Yes. He's got to leave, though. He's got a party to go.
I thought that was a charming trip. You ever had an
yes.
experience like that? It is almost a religious type of an experience.
No, it's true, though. My friends that live in Connecticut, I have two wonderful friends. Thank you. I wonder if that was for the hair, the eyes, or the teeth.
Well, it might be for your car.
I love you.
What?
No, but these two ladies have two farms in Avon, you know, and one feeds chipmunks, and one feeds, not the chipmunks, you see. The same kind of houses, separated by 200-300 yards.
One
they
feeds
feed
the chipmunks and one
loves
doesn't.
the chipmunks, here's your chipmunk food. The other one doesn't like the chipmunks because they eat the bulbs and the seeds.
Oh, I see.
And they'll feed the squirrels and the birds. So the one that doesn't like the chipmunks plants in a certain order all the bulbs in the fall.
Mm-hmm.
The one that loves the chipmunks doesn't plant bulbs. So during the winter, it's true, the chipmunks dig up the bulbs, carry them over to the other yard.
And replant?
And replant them in exactly the same formation. Tell that to your butterfly. No, but I mean, these are stories. I mean, you know, it's true.
Well, animals, they say, have, you know, have a certain
Oh, it's wonderful.
intelligence there.
I'm going to direct a thing. I have a funny story to tell you about. Being a director is hard.
I would
Because
imagine.
you're the director. You know, and they come to you and they say, do you want 2 doors or 1? And you go, well, oh, it's me. Well, I guess I'll go with the 2 doors.
2 doors.
Oh, sweet.
Big
And, you know, you're the one that has to decide what color socks. You know, and you always want to look around for Harry. Oh, then you're the director.
And you're going to direct Julie Harris?
Yes, we worked on it for 8 years. I think we're ready.
8 years?
Yeah, it's true. Those projects, you know, takes a long time. You know, you're writing a book. We're going to work on that. Takes a while, but 8 years we worked on it.
You're a good director, I hear.
I'm a wonderful director. I love to direct. I direct at home. Like, don't put that there. I'm one of those. You know what I
see.
mean?
Neat, everything has to be.
No, I'm a mess. But I'm always telling everybody what to do. There are too many red balloons. You know what I mean? And you get tired of that. But that's what, so I figured I'll do it, I'll get paid for it. Instead of saying that's the wrong source. But I directed one play once, was very funny. And what you learn about when you direct a play is that the set designer only looks at the set.
Costumes.
The costume designer only looks at the clothes. And the light guy looks at the light. It's fine. And I have to look at the acting, because without the acting and the light, there's no play. You know what I mean? There's nothing. I don't want to see a pretty thing. You know, that's something else. I want to have a life that the audience can relate and maybe learn something from. So I'm in the balcony, and the leading lady, who was a celebrated actress, was very drunk. This was in the previews. And we had done the play out of town. It was a triumph, and now everything was changed because it was New York. You know, you get ready for the big city, New York. So she was a little drunk, and the producer was sitting with me in the balcony during the previews. And she said, oh, those diet pills are causing her to make such strange moves. I said, they're not diet pills. They're in a very big bottle with a red label. And so the lighting guy, as I'm watching this horrible scene in the second act, the lighting man comes behind me, who's now a very famous lighting man, the most famous, whispers in my ear, Mr. Reilly, the light coming through the window will not be like that on opening night. I said, David, I don't really care about the light coming through the window. And watch the scene. Then the next night he comes to the next preview. The light coming through the window will not be... I said, it doesn't matter. So finally, in this play, which was No Coward, they're always lighting cigarettes. You know what I mean? You're constantly smoking cigarettes, darling, and it's much the cigarettes. And she has this big dress on like a parachute, and it catches on fire.
Oh.
Now, I'm not talking like, you smell something burning, like...
You mean
I'm
fire,
talking
fire.
your basic flash. You know what I mean?
I'll show you fire.
Right. So I'm in the balcony, and there she's on fire. And as she's burning, and the audience is screaming, he comes to me and says, Mr. Reilly, the light coming through the window. I said, David, it doesn't matter. The leading lady is on fire. And who cares? But it's true. It's true.
Why, Thumia hosed her down quickly, and she was all right.
Oh, she was fine. Nothing ever happens. You know that. It happens, but it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
You know? Like in God's Favorite, the last play, I was in this huge rock fell right in the middle of the scene. We had rocks in the second act, and they're stored in the first act because there's no room backstage. You know, it's not like a movie where there's a lot of room backstage. If you come off the stage, good night, Philip, and you have to go down the hall, you know. I mean, it's Broadway. You know.
Good night. Oh,
Certainly. So they've stored the rocks over
Butterflies Are Free is my favorite play.
there. So a rock fell down.
So the rock fell down, but no one was hurt. But these things happen all the time.
That's
but
what
it'll
makes-
be all right.
That makes what makes theater what it is. It'll be a smash.
It'll be fun.
Do you know the word that they have in the theater for making do when something goes wrong? It's called swallowing the saw. Swallowing
the
the
saw?
file.
The file.
It says swallowing the file is what you do when something goes wrong. And it came from a play that was originally produced, a prison melodrama, where the guy is ready to escape because his mother has baked a cake with a file in it. And he gets the file out and is just about to make his escape by sawing through the bars, and he has a gun and everything. And one of the prisoners passes down the word and says, "Run through, your mother is dead." And the guy says, "Oh," and he picks up the gun and he's going to shoot himself, and that's the end of the melodrama, that's the end of the play, and the gun goes click, and it doesn't work. And they have a standby gun with the stage manager off stage, and off stage he hears click, and that sound don't happen. How is he going to kill himself? And the curtain is waiting to come down, and he picks up the file, and he says, "I'll swallow the file." And he's gone like this, and the curtain slowly comes down.
Swallow the
Why
fire.
not?
Another parcel of showbiz mania behind the scenes. We'll take a break, and we're coming right back. Have any more untoward things happened?
Well,
while you were-
opera, I'm going to direct it now. Opera is funny, you know, because you never know what happens in opera. You have no time to really direct it. You have to do it very fast. You have 2 or 3 hours, and then it's a run-through of an act. But everyone is very talented in opera, and you just tell them, and they do it right away. But I saw an opera once, a debut. You know, debuts, you wait till a new tenor comes from Italy. And this is a true story. Aida was the opera in City Center. And in the very beginning of Aida, the tenor comes out, Radames. And Radames is the leading tenor, the hero. It would be like Vic Mature if they had it in a movie. You know what I mean? Big guy. Yeah, Clint Eastwood. It's your Radames. And we're sitting in the orchestra, and Gloria Lane played the mezzo part of Amneris. These names are hysterical. And so the tenor comes out right at the top of the opera. There's no overture in Aida. The curtain goes up, and out comes this hero. And he was this short. Shorter than Myron Silverbaum. And he's the leader. And he has on, as they have in opera, the platform shoes red, this big, with the laces going up like this, because he's the leader. And then you sit there, you go, the whole audience goes.
And even with the shoes, he was that short.
Still short, but those shoes are like this with the laces up, and the cape, you know? And the whole audience goes, you know? Because, and then he opens his mouth. You figure, gotta be fantastic.
Yeah, otherwise they wouldn't.
And everyone gets ready for his first phrase, which is Equo Gaudiero Fossi. I mean, if anyone cares, for the New Year. So, and you realize not only is he a dog to look at, and this is the New York debut, cannot sing at all. Then the Maris, the mezzo, has a hat on like Nephrodite. You know those hats that go way back? And you know in a play, you must try on your costumes first. See how it works. And I always go, well, that'll be fine. You never try it with the clothes.
Right.
Try that with the clothes.
Right.
So what happens is they get to a part where he has to kneel in the second act to get the hero's wreath, and she's got to put the hero's wreath on him. Now, probably he got there that afternoon from Italy in the plane, right? First time in the shoes, and she's got the hat. So she has to have the hat like this because it goes way back like this, and she has the wreath, and the cue is coming in the music. Then it comes time for him to kneel. Now, he can't kneel because he can't get it back. The shoes are so big. So finally, he gets down, and he's 2 feet from the ground. And she's 5 feet above him with the wreath. Then on her face, it's, oh, why didn't we try this with the shoes and the hat earlier today? She's done for. So what she did is she just, what the hell, tossed, ring tossed. What can you do? She just went, whoa. And it landed on his head like this, and the problem was he turned right to the audience. And it was just disaster. He went back to Italy. I think the opera was over 10 after 11. He took the red eye.
The red-eyed Italy. Got the red-eyed Italy.
But you must always try with the clothes.
Yo, remember that, folks, out there in the theater. We'll be right back. Well, we're into an hour into the new year. I thank you all for being here tonight.
John,
Thank
Yeah.
Scatman's trick reminded me. Did you see Doug Henning?
I sure did. The World of
Wasn't
Magic.
it a wonderful? Isn't he
It
wonderful?
was a great show.
I think his
friend David Susskind produced that, and
Right.
it shows you that magic can be done on television
I
effectively
think
if the man's
as a
showman.
magician, he is without peer. He's
Yeah,
amazing.
it was a super show.
He's got a number of other specials up his sleeve, ready to go too.
John
Yes.
Carson is the best magician.
Yes.
Well, I'll bring my act on
I'm not
some
going to
night,
mess
but-
up 76. I need
That's
the show.
right.
You are the best, John.
Thank you, Charles.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
I'll see you
Orson.
soon.
Thank you. We'll see you tomorrow. I'm humbled by that applause.